Hi there. So today I'm going to try my luck with a brass instrument, being the trumpet. Right off the bat, it's definitely going to be a whole lot easier to set up than my woodwind instrument, which was the clarinet, as I really only have two pieces to deal with here: the main part of the trumpet and the mouthpiece here, which just kind of basically gets plugged in and just kind of twist into place, make sure it's secure there. Don't want to hit it too hard or anything like that, otherwise you could end up having to use a puller to have to get it back out. Also, just before I got the video going, I opened up the case and the valves were a little bit sticky here, so I had to take a little bit of the oil and open up from the top, put a little bit of oil in there to get them working properly again. Also, I apologize if you can pick up any of this thunder noises going on in the background. There's actually a gym located directly above the music room here at the school, so not ideal when people are up there playing basketball from the sounds of it. Just from looking through the book, I'm kind of using the same methods book that I went through when I was doing my clarinet video, which is the book 1 of Accent on Achievement, which is, again, the method books that the school I'm at has in stock here. So if I'm looking through right off the bat, it's got a good little diagram of what the different parts of the instrument are and kind of where to properly hold it. So I know you basically want your thumb to tuck into this little finger hook here, and then for me, I think it's most comfortable to put my middle finger through here and then basically wrap the rest of my hand around the valves here in the middle, so it's nice and steady there with my left hand. And then my right pinky comes into this finger hook, and I've got valve 1, 2, and 3 here that I can use. So even before that, just going back to playing position, I guess, says that it wants me on the front half of the chair again. Make sure I have nice good posture so that I've got some good breathing going on. I'm not slouched over and making it difficult for the air to come out. So before I even get started with the trumpet part, I want to try doing some buzzing with just the mouthpiece, just to try and form the proper embouchure and get a little bit of a buzz sound going on. So in the book tells me just to make sure I've got moistened lips and bring them together, so I'm saying the letter M, and then keeping everything kind of open and relaxed, firm up the corners of the mouth, just so they kind of have a bit of a puckered lips going on, a little bit of a puckered smile going on. And then take a big full breath and get a little buzz sound going if I can. So I apologize for that, but it says basically to try and, for especially students too that are going through this, to try and hold that draw it out as long as you can and try and use the air the best you can there. The other thing it says to try and do before I actually get into blasting away here is to make a bit of a siren sound, just to try and control the different elements of the embouchure, from trying to go low with a little bit looser lips, a little bit of a bigger hole in the middle, and then as you're going up to tighten your lips, which obviously if you were in the instrument as well would help drive the notes back up as well. So trying to do that. So there's a bit of an attempt at that, and I know too a combination between the tightening and loosening the lips, as well as increasing or decreasing your airflow to try and also get that sound to pop back up. So now if I go back and put my mouthpiece back in here, I'm just going to flip over to the first page and look at the few notes. One thing that I find kind of weird in this book is it actually starts with E, F, and G as opposed to just an open note. So I know if you're blowing your first note into a trumpet, you're likely either going to hit middle C or the G that's just above it, that's a fifth above it there. So I'm just going to give it a blast off in this direction, so I'm not going right at the microphone and see what comes out. So I think that was the C that comes out, and if I try and tighten the embouchure a little bit, I should be able to switch back and forth between a G to a C, or yeah, C to a G. That's actually an exercise too. It's got in the book, and I have the students in class do as one of a warm-up is for the brass players anyways, is just to switch back and forth between their open valve notes, being a C to a G, holding one and then moving to the other, hold it for 4 beats and maybe speed up as you go along, just for them to practice on what it feels like to between the different embouchures that you need for some of the lower notes versus what you need for some of the higher notes. So if I'm just looking at a couple of these now, the next notes, basically it's for a D, and I use these little charts for the class. I don't know if you can see them very well up there. I have them written out, the kids in the class anyways. It basically shows the major scale, like the concert C major scale for them, and what valves you need for each one. So for C, it's just open, no valves are pushed down. For D, you need valves 1 and 3. E, valve 1 and 2, F, just 1, and then G goes back open. So and then even past that, A would be 1 and 2, B is just the middle valve, and then that high C, the octave, is just, again, it's open, but it's even tighter embouchure to get up there. And this pattern, for the most part, kind of repeats. As long as you're in the same key signature, I think it kind of repeats as you go up. So I'll try a little bit of see how far I can make it in the scale here. I've done some trombone playing before, so it's definitely a little bit more difficult, I find, with this smaller mouthpiece trying to get it in. Okay, so there's the C major scale, and if I flip over to, I'm going to try the same Donkey Round song that I did with the clarinet, and see if I can do it a little better justice with the trumpet. So one thing that I definitely notice as being a difficult part with the trumpet, and I think any kind of brass instrument where you're having to change the embouchure, is knowing which notes you kind of have to make that switch over for. And I think in bar 2 or 3 here, where there's kind of that crossover, it's tough to remember, I find, which spots you actually have to switch over with and kind of what to do, especially at the end where I was going back and forth between a G to a C. I find one thing that helps definitely is making sure that, again, the proper posture, and that trying to keep the trumpet out as opposed to leaning down or up. And then I kind of find that almost putting more pressure with my lips into the mouthpiece, as well as almost curling my lips in a little bit to make them thinner and really close that gap up, just to drive the sound up. But almost like if you were having a hose with water coming out, if you have your thumb over top of the hose, the water sprays further, and the less pressure that's going on there, the less pressure there is, I guess. Okay, so before I sign off here, I'm just going to try one more tune that I maybe will find definitely more challenging just from looking at them. I'm gonna try, it goes up to, it uses an end to the 6th note here. It's a London Bridge song that's about It's number 39 in the Accent on Achievement book. So here we go. All right. Oh, one last thing too is for the in terms of trying to change some of the notes, I find sometimes it helps too. I feel when I'm trying to go higher that I definitely feel my neck muscles tighten up, if that makes sense, and I become a little more tenser. And I don't know if that's correct or not, but I find to try and get that note up, trying to keep things a little tighter all the way through, like the muscles and clenching helps me, I guess, pinch at the sides of my mouth as well, and which helps drive the note up a little bit. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm signing off for now.